Tonight on NewsLink Indiana, Muncie voters face a choice. Will Mayor McShirley or her Democratic challenger Dennis Tyler be the better bet in these tough economic times?
The old manufacturing days are gone.
If somebody's been unemployed 9 months, they're probably not going to get back to work.
And what becomes of the deadlock between McShirley and the City Council?
And Dave Letterman is coming back to his alma mater next month, this time with cable TV's Rachel Maddow.
All that and more coming up on NewsLink Indiana.
Live from Ball State University, news for the campus community and all of Delaware County. This is NewsLink Indiana.
The presidential election is still a year away, but tomorrow voters all over Indiana will be making important decisions about the future of their cities. Good evening, I'm Brandon Pope.
And I'm Allison Sewer. Here in Muncie, the economy is at the heart of everything. As Mayor Sharon McShirley seeks a second term and State Representative Dennis Tyler tries to end the Republican Party's 20-year hold on the mayor's office.
The economy dictates whether Muncie residents will have jobs and whether local government will have enough money to provide basic services.
And tonight we'll be hearing from both candidates and why this all matters to Ball State. We'll also look at the paralyzing hostility between McShirley and the City Council. But first, the dominant role of the economy in the race. Here's Trent Townsend.
Both incumbent Mayor Sharon McShirley and her challenger, State Representative Dennis Tyler, have been canvassing Muncie to win over Muncie voters. Both candidates have focused on bringing jobs to Muncie. Manufacturing jobs have gone down 80% in the last 40 years. These abandoned factories serve as reminders of Muncie's declining manufacturing past and uncertain economic future.
Many of those jobs may never come back to this country, not just to Muncie or to the state of Indiana.
What is coming into the community is high-tech manufacturing.
Recent rays of hope came to the city with the arrival of locomotive maker Progress Rail and wind turbine maker Bravini. They have brought a few hundred jobs. Welcome, but a drop in the bucket compared to the thousands of jobs lost. Muncie's unemployment rate is still above 9%. Creating jobs remains the #1 issue.
You know, jobs solve all of our problems, and that's why we spend every day working towards developing new opportunities or working with people who are interested in investing in our community.
But McShirley's Democratic challenger says the mayor's office has done too little.
We've lost hundreds and hundreds of jobs, and so it's evident that we're not keeping up, and we need to.
Roy Budd is the executive director of Energize ECI, a partnership of business and government groups that promotes economic growth in East Central Indiana. He says the mayor is key to growing a city's economy.
The mayor of the city has probably got more prestige than the governor of the state when it comes to working with global businesses, because the mayor is the one who actually makes the decisions to provide incentives and provide tax abatements. So the role of mayor
Budd added that the role of mayor is vital for Muncie's economic development. But of course, a mayor cannot offer those incentives without the backing of the council. Brandon?
That's right, Trent, and there's the rub. There's bad blood between the Republican mayor and the Democratic City Council. So much so that nothing seems to be getting done. And that's been the same way for the last 4 years. Alberto Pimienta has that story.
Arguments between the City Council and Mayor Sharon McShirley are nothing new.
We've never really had a terrific relationship.
For Mayor McShirley, the Republican running for re-election, the friction between her and the Democrat-dominated City Council dates back to the 2007 election. James Mansfield, the Democratic candidate then, was declared the winner by just 9 votes. But after a recount, McShirley won by 13 votes.
The very first City Council meeting we had made it very clear that they were not going to cooperate with my administration.
Facing a budget squeeze, Mayor McShirley laid off city employees, including Santa Marshall, who worked in the street department. But Marshall was and is the elected president of the City Council, which controls the city budget. The council has retaliated ever since, cutting out funding for everything from a deputy mayor to a copy machine for McShirley's office.
I can just tell you that if I'm mayor next year, that won't happen.
McShirley's Democratic challenger is State Representative Dennis Tyler. He says the communication between the mayor's office and the City Council was better before.
Prior to this administration, things worked well together and there was communication. And somewhere shortly after Mayor McShirley went into office, it was pretty evident that there was a breakdown.
It's been frustrating for all of us to know that while we may have good ideas for the community, we may not get the support of our city council just because it doesn't go along their party line and what their leadership wants them to do.
Charles Taylor is a political science professor at Ball State University. He stresses that this back dialogue only harms the Muncie community.
The citizens would be better served if they could put aside whatever personal differences they have and try to work together for the betterment of the city.
Whoever the next mayor is, Sam Marshall won't be coming back as city council president. That's because he's not running for re-election, but his son is on the ballot in his place. What's more, Doug Marshall is sure to be elected because nobody's running against him. Allison?
Thanks, Alberto. Star Press columnist Larry Riley has been watching Muncie politics for years. He sat down earlier this evening with NewsLink Indiana's Amanda Richardson.
Big issue up front. The economy of Muncie continues to struggle and unemployment remains high. Do you think the election can help remedy these issues, or is it much more than just an election or a possible change in power?
The city election will do very little to bring new employment opportunities to Muncie. In fact, probably none. That's a systematic, long-term, entrenched problem that the entire country is going to have to go through. And Muncie, used to heavy manufacturing in factories that are all now closed down, is going to have to take years to rebound.
The relationship between the mayor and the city council has been strained. Both groups struggle to work together. What do you see as the biggest issue with this relationship, and what effect could the election have?
Strained is putting the issue mildly. There's no relationship between the two, and in the past 2 years, I don't think either side has particularly wanted to work together anymore. The worst outcome in Muncie's election would be to re-elect the mayor and re-elect the majority of the current council members. They would just be at loggerheads unless some miracle happened for the next 4 years. What's going to have to change is either the administration or the council members.
And one final question. Why should Ball State students care about this race?
The students who are registered to vote should be voting in their hometowns where they understand what the issues are and know who the people are. If they do choose to register here in Muncie, I'd like for them to get involved in knowing who candidates are and what the issues are.
And that was Star Press columnist Larry Riley on the Muncie city election.
So what does all this have to do with students at Ball State?
Well, the streets you drive your car on, the buses you ride if you don't have a car, are all maintained by the city.
And your apartment or your dorm catches on fire, it's Muncie firefighters who will get that call.
NewsLink's Randa Gore joins us live from the Student Center with student insights from the campus leaders of the Republican and Democratic parties. Randa?
I'm Randa Gore, and we're here outside of the ballroom here in the L.A. Pittenger Student Center. And this is just one of several places that students can come and cast their ballots tomorrow on Election Day. Here with me tonight is Kaylee Moeller from College Republicans. Kaylee, what do you feel is the biggest issue surrounding this year's elections?
I think one of the biggest issues in the Muncie elections this year is trying to get a team in there who's going to be willing to work together to get things done to keep Muncie moving forward this next term.
Thank you, Kaylee. And we also have Chris Griffith from College Democrats. Chris, what's your opinion? Do you agree with Kaylee? Disagree?
I do agree. Dennis Tyler's campaign slogan is, when we work together, we can make a lot of things happen. And I think that when we work together and we help to improve the Muncie's community for Ball State students, which they should have a part in the election, then we're all going to be in a better place.
Alrighty, thank you so much, Chris. Now, elections start tomorrow at 6 a.m. and will continue through 6 p.m. Live in Muncie, Randa Gore, NewsLink, Indiana.
Muncie residents looking for jobs may find a new opportunity. The Turkish manufacturer Kermit will be opening its first American facility in Muncie. The company specializes in tile production. The decision Friday created 70 new jobs in the Muncie community. Kermit's first facility replaces the Two-Sun Tool Factory on Bethel Avenue. Chamber of Commerce member Jay Julian is encouraged by the timetable for the decision.
We went there for the first time in January of this year, 2011. And to announce a company in the same calendar year from our first engagement is really pretty incredible. That normally doesn't happen.
Kermit will open its facility on Bethel next summer. As for the 70 available jobs, Jay Julian expects them to be filled over the course of the next few years.
And we'll bring you live coverage of the 2011 elections tomorrow night. We'll be working with our media partners at Indiana Public Radio, the Ball State Daily News, and WCRD 91.3 FM to bring you minute-by-minute results. And it seems like the elections weren't the only things that were minute-by-minute today. The weather was a minute-by-minute toss-up of what we were going to have.
Oh yeah, and you know, weather could affect voter turnout. That's something to really watch out for. So let's go to Michael Behrens for our first look at weather.
Well guys, there was a mix of clouds and some sprinkles out there today. That's going to be the pattern for most of the night, as a chance of some more rain will move into the area as the night goes on. We're going to take a look at our current conditions outside. It's 56 degrees. Showers that are still moving through our area, and the spotty showers will continue over the night and move out of here by early into tomorrow morning. Now, what does that mean for the election day forecast? Well, the rain will be ending late. Cloudy skies are tomorrow, and how will that affect voter turnout? Well, statistically, worse weather does mean less voters, but there shouldn't be any too bad conditions outside. Just not too happy of conditions with the clouds outside. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Michael. Find out when David Letterman is coming back to campus and when tickets are available.
We'll tell you more after the break. Well, how about this? David Letterman is returning to Ball State on December 2nd. This time, Letterman will be joined by MSNBC commentator Rachel Maddow. Now, Maddow will be taping her show live from Ball State. Tickets for the event will be available on first-come, first-served basis this Thursday morning from 9 to 6 p.m. at the Emmons box office. Tickets will be limited to 2 per person. Maddow's show usually focuses on politics, but her conversation with Letterman will emphasize media's role in politics. Letterman last made an appearance on Ball State's campus during September 2010 with Biz Stone for a conversation on social media.
David Letterman and Rachel Maddow, both nationally recognized. Let's take a look at what's making headlines across the country. Dr. Conrad Murray, Michael Jackson's doctor, who's accused of being responsible for Jackson's death in 2009, has been found guilty. A jury in Los Angeles convicted him today of involuntary manslaughter by giving Jackson a powerful anesthetic. Murray will face up to 4 years in prison when he's sentenced later this month.
A deer jumped through a glass window of a restaurant Sunday in Georgia. The animal then ran around before exiting through a door opened by an employee. The deer then took off through the patio area and into the parking lot. No one was hurt.
Barnes & Noble introduced a new Nook tablet today. The 7-inch tablet will cost $249 and will be available in stores on November 17th. Some of the new features include a more powerful processor and twice the storage capacity of the Kindle Fire.
I'm Michelle Isles, and I have a look at tomorrow's headlines tonight from our partners at the Ball State Daily News. Campaign fundraising reports show Republican mayoral candidate Sharon McShirley raised less money than Democratic challenger Dennis Tyler in the campaign races. Find out McShirley's campaign strategy. Also, voter registration information will be available along with expectations about this year's election turnout. Finally, the Atrium Gallery located on the first floor of the Arts and Journalism building is currently showcasing art in Italy. Find out the meaning behind these works of art, all that and more, coming up in tomorrow's Ball State Daily News on newsstands across campus or online 24 hours a day at bsudailynews.com. Back to you, Brandon and Allison.
We'll have your Election Day forecast coming up.
Now, local elections are tomorrow, and hopefully the weather won't affect the voter turnout.
I mean, if it does, if it ends up raining, I really, wish we could have like a call-in line or you could text your vote. Well, it'd just be great.
It'd be instant results.
Yeah, well, we got instant results right here with Michael Behrens for weather.
Well, we're not looking at any chance of rain, at least not for the voting hours tomorrow. Some wrapping up early in the morning and some more coming in later on in the night. Right now, though, we are looking at calm winds, temperature of 56 degrees, and the barometric pressures at 30.20, a sign of that rain just off to the outside. Highs around the state today. Muncie checked in at 61, Lafayette at 59, and Indianapolis was at 63. We take a look at the almanac for today. The high was 61, higher than the average of 54, but not quite the record of 77 set back in 1975. Onto the radar map, we do have the scattered showers moving through our area, and those will continue to press throughout the day and into the night. For tonight, however, we are looking at those rain showers ending late. A low of 50 wind out of the south-southeast at 0 to 8 miles an hour. On the NewsLink Futurecast, there's the rain hanging around for Monday, moving out of here by later tonight. But more rain and some storm chances will start to develop by Tuesday night, and the storm chances will come in overnight Wednesday. But that clears out of here moving on later into the week. And then as we go ahead and take a look at tomorrow's forecast for Election Day, winds out of the south 10 to 20, partly cloudy, rain late, high of 66 degrees. Moving on to the 7-day forecast. For tomorrow, we do have the rain coming in late, high of 66. Possible storm chances on Wednesday, ending by about noon. High of 56, low of 52. Clears out for Thursday. Lows get cooler, and highs get cooler, down to 45 degrees. Clear for the weekend, and some more rain chances coming in for next week, but it will be warmer for a high of 62.
So definitely bring your umbrellas if you're going to go out and vote, right?
Oh, you might need your umbrella if you're one of those early voters, but if you plan on voting in the afternoon, you should be pretty fine out there.
All right. Thank you, Michael.
Well, the Ball State women's volleyball team and the football team back in action this past weekend, and a huge scandal continues in the college football world. All that and more coming up in sports. Good evening, everyone. I'm Robert Connett with sports on NewsLink Indiana. This past weekend was a pivotal one for the Ball State women's volleyball team. The Cardinals sat in first place in the MAC standings, but had road games against the second and third best teams. Now, if the Cardinals won both matches this weekend, they would be MAC regular season champs. Unfortunately, after dropping just 3 games in their first 25 of the season, the Cardinals lost back-to-back matches this weekend, losing 3-2 at Western Michigan and then getting swept against Northern Illinois. The Cardinals are still 22-5 after the losses, but are now 11-3 in the conference. Ball State would get the 3 seed if the season ended today, but the Cardinals face Eastern Michigan and Central Michigan at home to finish out the year in matches where Ball State will be favored. The Ball State football team celebrated a big win over the weekend after squeezing out a narrow victory in Eastern Michigan. The Cards found themselves down late in the fourth quarter, but Keith Winning led the Ball State offense down the field in the final minute on a 9-play, 46-yard drive, setting up for a game-winning 44-yard field goal by Steven Scott with only 9 seconds remaining. In the victory, Winning threw for 284 yards and 2 touchdowns and became 4th all-time in single-season passing yards with 2,233 on the season. Also with the victory, the Cards are now 6-4 on the season, technically making them bowl eligible in 2011, but they have to continue to impress in order to receive that bowl appearance. The Cards travel to Northern Illinois to take on the Huskies next Tuesday night. Now switching to the NFL, yesterday at Lucas Oil Stadium, the Colts still looking for their first win of the season as they host Atlanta. Julio Jones coming off an injury back in the lineup for the Falcons, and boy did he have a huge game. Here in the first quarter, Matt Ryan, they're already up 7-0, is going to air this one out down the field, 50 yards to Julio Jones in triple coverage, and he still makes the catch for the touchdown. At first, the referees say it was no good, but after review, the referees say it was good for a touchdown. Switching the second quarter, Matt Ryan again to Julio Jones, breaks a tackle across the midfield. He's going to go 80 yards on this play all the way to the house to put the Falcons up 21-0 against the Indianapolis Colts. Now later on in the third quarter, Matt Ryan near the goal line again for the Falcons. He's going to take this 1-yard pass to Tony Gonzalez and put the Falcons up even more, 28-7. They go on to beat the Colts by a score of 31-7. It's the first time since 1966 that Atlanta defeats the Colts, and the Colts are now 0-9 in 2011. And finally tonight, the entire college football world has turned heads to Pennsylvania as the child sex abuse scandal involving former Penn State defensive coordinator Jerry Sandusky continues to evolve. Saturday, Sandusky was arrested on charges of sexual assault from 2002. Yesterday, the university's Board of Trustees held an emergency meeting in which they addressed the order. And today, Yahoo Sports reports Pennsylvania Attorney General Linda Kelly addressed in a news conference the details of assistant coach reporting to head coach Joe Paterno of seeing Sandusky sexually assaulting a child in the showers at Penn State in 2002. Athletic Director Tim Curley and Vice President Gary Schultz both stepped down from their jobs today. They are charged with lying and failed attempt to properly report the sexual assault. Head coach Joe Paterno is also under investigation, and Kelly made the point in today's conference that this is still an ongoing process. Just a terrible thing to happen for the entire college world, guys.
You look at that legacy of Joe Paterno. It'll be interesting to see what happens in the future with that.
Definitely.
Well, thank you, Robert.
No problem.
Well, we'll have your entertainment news.
And we'll have a final look at weather for your election day. Stay tuned.
Welcome to NewsLink Entertainment. I am DJ Pulse. What's in the future of public relations in an international economy? And how do you prepare to practice public relations? Get the answers to these questions and more at the annual Scrands Lecture, where internationally recognized public relations educator Dr. Mel Sharp is the speaker this Wednesday in the Student Center Ballroom at 8 p.m. Did Charlie Sheen return to CBS's 2.5 Men tonight? Well, not exactly, but his ghost sure did. On the new episode tonight, Charlie Sheen's character, Charlie Harper, made an appearance by possessing Alan Walden and making him have Charlie Sheen's likenesses. So no, it's not Charlie Sheen, but as close as it will be. What should a celebrity do before they go back to jail? Well, go crash one of actor Leonardo DiCaprio's parties. Actress Lindsay Lohan did just that before going back to a Los Angeles County jail on Saturday night. The actress was ordered to serve a 30-day sentence for a violation of probation. Fortunately for her, the jails were too crowded, and the actress only spent 5 hours behind bars before returning to freedom. Super Bowl halftime is almost as important as the number of touchdowns the game has. Well, for the 2012 Super Bowl held at Indianapolis's own Lucas Oil Stadium, old pop meets new pop. Singer Madonna will headline Super Bowl 46 halftime, and new rap pop star Nicki Minaj reportedly will perform alongside Madonna to perform their new song, Give Me All Your Love. Madonna and Minaj will have to find out if that will be the case of the millions of football fans in February. I'm DJ Pulse, National News and Entertainment.
All right, as voting begins, what's weather looking like, Michael?
Well, for those early voters, you might have some rain showers to dodge other than in the morning, but as you get on into the day and the voting continues, the skies will clear up, cloudy conditions throughout the day.
All right, well,
that's all we have for NewsLink Indiana this evening. Join us tomorrow at 9 for more election coverage.
In the meantime, you can stay up to date by following us on Twitter and liking us on Facebook. Have a good night.